4 other adults in the home to leave the home, and our subject refused to leave the house.
An intense police standoff at a home in Aurora leaves one person dead and a community reeling.
No one more surprised than the other people inside the house.
I didn't know he was sleeping there until I was told by the news.
Residents recount their firsthand experience unknowingly harboring a murder suspect.
I feel violated.
An explosion rocks Hoover Dam, quickly breaking out in flames.
Backlogged claims keeping one Colorado woman from paying her bills.
I can't collect unemployment. It's been 16 weeks and it's still pending.
She reached out to contact Denver 7 for answers, and we're taking her concerns straight to the Department of Labor and Employment.
I'm kind of in this holding pattern of what do I do?
Good evening to you, and thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Jessica Porter. Tonight, a community in shock after a 14-hour-plus standoff between Aurora police and an armed suspect.
That suspect turned out to be a fugitive wanted out of Georgia for murdering the mother of his children. He is now dead. So here's what we know so far. Around 12:45 on Monday, 12:45 in the afternoon, Aurora police located Fabian Perry at a home in the 400 block of North Oswego Street, and he barricaded himself inside that home for several hours and live streamed on social media telling police that he would shoot if they entered. Well, that lasted until after 2 a.m. Tuesday morning when Perry came out of the home with a rifle. Shots were fired by one Aurora police officer and one Arapahoe County Sheriff's deputy. And Perry was taken to a hospital where he died.
Police say he was wanted on murder charges out of Roswell, Georgia, for the murder of his girlfriend, 23-year-old Sammy Cabrales Hernandez. Now, he previously made headlines for punching a 53-year-old woman through the window of her car during a road rage incident. Today, Aurora Interim Police Chief Dan Oates said for the other people living in the house, Perry's actions caught them completely by surprise.
They sincerely did not know that they were housing a homicide suspect. They knew him as to be a family friend.
Denver 7's Colette Bordelon spoke with one of the people living in that house where Perry had barricaded himself. Colette is joining us now, and that had to have been a very scary situation, Colette.
Something he had absolutely no idea about. Neighbors actually still outside right now in their driveways, walking along the sidewalk, all watching this scene, which is still going on behind me, this investigation, and it is really hard to miss the damage here on this house. You can see those massive holes, one on that bottom level, then those windows that are blown out. Lots of that from the less lethal methods police say they were trying out first. But for those living around here and even inside of the home, knowing they were close to someone accused of murder, that's shocking, to say the least.
Calm neighborhood, quiet, people just going on with their daily lives.
Right. Off Oswego Street in Aurora.
I've been in this neighborhood for literally 32 years, and this is the first time that anything like this has occurred.
Is where Melissa Murdoch calls home.
I'd never say that it can't happen here, because we know that it can.
What happened here, a standoff that lasted hours, involving Fabian Perry, who was wanted on murder charges in Georgia, accused of shooting the mother of his children.
It leaves another family, devastated because of the loss, and it leaves young children without parents.
And Jay Terry is one of the people who was living in the house at the time.
Yesterday I was working on my motorcycle and I heard a bullhorn outside, and the guy's name rhymed with mine, so I thought they were after me.
He didn't know much about Perry.
Yeah, I thought he was a young kid. Of course, the older I get, the younger everybody else looks.
But now hearing about his criminal past.
I feel violated, but I don't think my roommate knew. So I think he should feel as violated as I do.
And he's frustrated after not getting much sleep last night and seeing his home this morning.
That used to be the front porch. I have to keep telling myself it could be worse.
Police say Perry fired off anywhere from 20 to 40 rounds in the home.
They weren't warning shots. He was shooting at the cops. It should have ended there. They shouldn't have had to take a battering ram to the front of the house and punch holes in the walls and break every window in the front of the house. I don't think that was necessary for them to wait that long.
And for the neighbors who watched and heard it all happen.
The fact that he chose Oswego Street, it could have been Oakland Street, it could have been, anywhere in the state of Colorado.
That thought becomes even more real when something like this does happen just a couple doors down. Those I talked with say they never got those text alerts telling someone to stay inside of their home when something like this is happening. Melissa Murdoch even told me the reason she knew to go inside is because she could physically feel the tear gas, and that's when she decided to go inside of her own home. Aurora police say there was a technical glitch, and those notifications went out about 10 minutes after they were supposed to around 40 phone numbers. But if you want to check and make sure you are signed up for that service, go to auroragov.org and search code RED. That's all one word. Live in Aurora, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Terrifying situation. Thank you, Colette. Tonight, we're learning more about the suspect involved in Sunday night's police shooting in downtown Denver that injured 5 bystanders. The Department of Corrections tells us the suspect, Michael Waddy, was on a GPS ankle monitor and was breaking curfew the evening the shooting happened. They say he violated terms of supervision, and CDOC will begin the revocation process while he's in custody. Now, meanwhile, DPD says they will provide an update on the investigation tomorrow regarding police's response that resulted in the 5 people being injured.
The criminal cases against 5 former Aurora police officers and paramedics involved with the 2019 death of Elijah McClain moving forward after a judge found probable cause to proceed. Last August, a grand jury indicted 5 men on a combined 32 counts, including manslaughter and negligent homicide. Lawyers for the 5 men argued there wasn't enough evidence to support those charges. The 23-year-old McClain died in their custody after being detained and injected with the sedative ketamine. All 5 are scheduled to be arraigned in court next month, August 12th. Aurora police and fire have changed protocols and training after the death of Elijah McClain.
New video released today of a knife attack on an RTD bus is bringing attention to violent crimes plaguing the transit agency. And we want to warn you, this video is graphic. It happened on RTD's Route 15L on East Colfax on June 30th near Ogden and Downing. In 30 seconds, the video shows the attacker brandish a large knife and lunge at the 22-year-old victim. Now, we've stopped the footage before that occurs. Investigators say the victim suffered multiple stab wounds and spent 6 days in the hospital, recovering from a punctured lung and broken ribs. No arrests have been made, and we've reported extensively on the growing violence in RTD's vehicles. Coming up on Denver 7 News at 6, reporter Megan Lopez is speaking with RTD employees about their growing concerns over safety and the actions they're taking to protect passengers.
An explosive fire broke out at Hoover Dam today. The Bureau of Reclamation says a transformer caught fire around 10 o'clock this morning, and they're still investigating what caused this fire. It was put out quickly before the fire department even arrived. No one was hurt, and the fire did not impact the power grid.
Unemployment hell. That's what people reaching out to Contact Denver 7 are calling a months-long backlog.
Contact Denver 7's Jacqueline Allen is hearing from people about to lose their homes, their cars, and everything they own because of what seems to them to be a broken system.
I'm at risk of losing my home and everything I've worked so hard for.
Emails to the governor, the Secretary of State,
I am becoming desperate.
and Contact Denver 7.
I'm just grasping for straws.
Crystal Johnson tells anyone who'll listen, Colorado's unemployment system is broken. The marketing executive lost her job in March and filed for unemployment benefits, trying to show us her claim, but the site is down.
I can't collect unemployment. It's been 16 weeks. Do you go into delinquency, or do you go and rent out your home and potentially live in your car?
Contact Denver 7 is again seeing a steady increase in complaints from people on the verge of losing everything after waiting for months.
I feel like the state of Colorado needs to do something to fix this. I mean, it's a story that you've been covering for a while.
Alicia Nieva Woodgate filed her claim in January. Her account is locked with no answers.
I have financial responsibilities with aging parents and other financial responsibilities, so it's a huge strain and a worry.
No, the system is not broken.
Phil Spassert heads the state's Division of Unemployment Insurance and confirms an average 10 to 12 week backlog in processing unemployment claims. He blames the backlog on the pandemic, 10 years worth of claims in 1 year still being processed. Also, new claim numbers are still much higher than pre-pandemic.
So you add that onto the backlog and it becomes difficult to continue to stay afloat.
When do you think unemployment claims could get back to a normal wait time?
Yeah, I think that's always a tricky question. And my hope would be a year from now, we're not in this boat, right? Can I guarantee a year from now we're not in this boat? I can't guarantee that.
Like many employers, they've also struggled to hire and retain employees, while federal rules prevent their agency from automating. That's no help for people caught in what Crystal calls unemployment hell.
I don't even feel like a person anymore. I feel like a number.
For Contact Denver 7.
And a number that's not even being processed, like a forgotten number.
I'm Jacqueline Allen.
And the Department of Labor tells us a new class of 20 adjudicators just now came online. That should help with the backlog. We promise we will keep watching. And if you have a story you'd like Contact Denver 7 to look into, you can reach out by calling the number right there on your screen. You can also send an email to contact7@thedenverchannel.com.
Survivors heal in different ways and they all have different journeys.
Coloradans marking a decade since 12 people were killed in an Aurora theater. The event's happening tonight and this weekend to honor victims.
90s and triple digits again today, but a cold front coming. How much cooler tomorrow will be.
And massive waves nearly wipe out a wedding in Hawaii. But these lovebirds aren't letting it rain on their special day.
It brought everybody together so fast because our families and friends sprung right away.